Welcome back. Loneliness hit new highs during the pandemic, and we know that, of course.
Yeah.
According to a new Gallup poll, though, 44 million American adults are still experiencing, quote, significant loneliness. So now some Americans, they are turning to artificial intelligence for help dealing with some mental health issues. A lot to talk about on this, and joining us here in Studio 57 is psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig. Dr. Ludwig, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about loneliness to begin with. It can be incredibly devastating to mental and physical health.
Absolutely. It can cause depression, increased anxiety, low self-esteem, and it's almost a silent disorder when you really think about it. And they've found that many people have less friends to turn to when they're feeling upset, that somehow our real connections have been lost, and we're suffering as a result.
And we had an issue with loneliness even before the pandemic. You know,
Yes.
it was something that was talked about a lot. So now enter artificial intelligence, right? We're talking about its impact in all kinds of aspects of our lives. And we've seen I think the lower level version of what AI can do. But now AI has sort of expanded dramatically.
Right.
And one of the things that it can do is at least appear to have a conversation with us. And so the question is, can something like that substitute a personal connection? Or is it the kind of thing that will encourage people who are alone to stay more alone?
Well, I think, we're still studying it, and we're seeing that AI can work with certain populations. So it can work with the elderly who sometimes feel disenfranchised, with veterans, they found it highly effective. But human beings are human beings, and we are complex, and AI doesn't love you back. And we need to be loved for who we are and who we aren't. We need to show up in a mutual way. Even if our friends and family are disappointing, to somehow develop empathy and forgiveness. These are all things that come out of real human relationships that we don't have with AI and probably won't for a long time. So it can be useful, but even with our micro interactions we found during the pandemic, the barista you say hello to, or the bus driver, having those mini interactions can really make us feel socially and emotionally healthier because we get in touch with different aspects of ourselves. And that's what human beings offer us. If we're alone sitting in front of a screen and things are easy, we can spend more time getting absorbed into that screen world, which makes it easy for us. But we don't get to experience different aspects of ourselves that friends and family and these even micro interactions offer us.
Yeah, I mean, humans can be messy, but they can also be so wonderful. And it's those little unexpected moments during the day that can bring so much joy to your life.
That's right.
But let me ask you this. Given that there aren't enough resources oftentimes for people who are seeking that kind of help, especially in poorly served areas.
If you're looking for professional help.
Exactly, to have professional help and to have someone to talk to, perhaps. There is a benefit, at least perhaps in the short term, is there not, in terms of just having some kind of interaction because of these AI services?
Yeah, I mean, we're still studying it, and I think it could be a great stopgap. But really what makes therapy work is the transference a patient has to a real life person and recreating some of the patterns that they have in their lives that need to be corrected. Of course, it could be really interesting as an interim to get real life treatment. But I think the goal is to see AI as an assistant. It may help our lives to do more research or make things happen faster, but it's not a replacement. And so whatever we do, we need to incorporate the value of real life relationships and reducing our time in solitude.
So when I knew you were coming down, coming here, I downloaded an app that's supposed to be like an AI therapy app just to see what it was like, right? I'm not going to say the name of it.
Yeah.
And it felt to me a little bit like those choose your own adventure books that you used to read in 4th or 5th grade, where you get to the end and then it would be like, do you want to go to page 53 and go over the bridge or not, right? And so it kind of felt like that because you write the stuff and then it gives you options. Also, in this case, it's me reading it. So it's my voice that's the therapist and also the client or the patient. And I gotta say, it did not feel satisfying. It feels more satisfying to talk to like Siri and say, can you play this music? Like that feels like a genuine interaction, but this not so much.
Yeah, because it's not.
Yeah.
So it might be helpful to think through certain thoughts as long as we're redirected to the right place. And there's also telehealth. So we can, transport therapists in real life to real people. But it's very interesting, this place that we're at. But as life, we need to communicate. AI may help us communicate in different ways, but it's not going to be in the same way. And what causes mental health is really experiencing yourself and relying on other people so that we feel that connection and love and create memories in real life.
Are you concerned that if AI gets really, really good, there will be people that will become dependent on it because it's not another human being? You don't owe them anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to be nice to them.
Just live in a virtual world at that point.
Well, the problem, too, is our social skills can atrophy. So part of getting good and interacting with people and feeling comfortable is actually doing it. So when we look at teens, they're having less social time and more isolated time. So I think we're going to need to approach it where this is an aspect that can help us in life, but really we need to make connections to a community to feel that we have a home, to feel that we matter to people. And I don't think AI is going to get there for a very long time.
I agree. Dr. Robi Ludwig, it's great having you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.